GMO products, you take individual genes from the DNA of one species and you force it into the DNA of other species so you can mix and match between humans, animals, viruses, bacteria, and plants. This is completely new and was never done before. It's a radical new way of creating new organisms that are not the product of billions of years of evolution through reproduction. The process itself is flawed. It creates unpredicted side effects, so there could be new allergens, new toxins, new anti-nutrients, and new carcinogens. What they put into GMOs are toxins, the ones that kill insects. And they put other things in the plants that allow the plants to be drenched with more toxins, like the weed killer glyphosate, which we then consume. Monsanto has been one of the most unethical companies on earth for decades. They lied about the toxicity of their former products, PCBs, Agent Orange, and DDT, and now they have unprecedented control over regulatory bodies around the world. At the Food and Drug Administration, the policy on GMOs was overseen by Monsanto's former attorney, Michael Taylor. Then Michael Taylor, after overseeing the regulatory policy, became Monsanto's vice president and chief lobbyist. Now he's back at the FDA as the U.S. food safety czar. But the overwhelming consensus among the scientists working at the FDA is that GMOs are dangerous, could create allergies, toxins, and new diseases, and should be tested carefully. GMO crops do not increase yield. They do not reduce pesticide use, but increase it. They create serious problems for farmers, including herbicide-tolerant superweeds, compromise soil quality, and increase disease susceptibility in crops. They harm soil quality. They disrupt ecosystems. They reduce biodiversity. They do not offer effective solutions to climate change. They are as energy hungry as any other chemically farmed crops. They cannot solve the problem of world hunger, but distract from its real causes: poverty, lack of access to food, and increasingly, lack of access to land to grow food. Some of the documented health problems associated with GMOs are gastrointestinal disorders, immune system problems such as allergies and asthma, and autoimmune diseases, leaky gut, diabetes, inflammatory-based diseases, reproductive disorders such as infertility, damage to virtually every organ and every system in animals, potentially precancerous cell growth, smaller brains, liver and testicles, inflamed immune system organs, and damage to the liver and kidneys. A study from Japan showed GMO foods interfere with the body's ability to, quote, transform most of the products of digestion, degrade and detoxify toxic substances, and excrete them in the bile, end quote. A study out of Russia found hamsters fed GMOs, quote, growth rate was slower and reached their sexual maturity slowly, end quote. They also caused the hamsters to go completely sterile by the third generation. A study published in the International Journal of Biological Sciences points out that the side effects of eating GMOs, quote, effects were mostly associated with the liver and kidneys and the dietary detoxifying organs. Other effects were also noticed in the heart, adrenal glands, and spleen. We conclude that these data highlights are signs of hepatorenal toxicity, possibly due to the new pesticides specific to each GMO corn. In 1991, a British scientist discovered that GMOs were extremely dangerous and that within 10 days they caused massive health problems for rats. He went public and was fired the next day. The American Medical Association has called for mandatory pre-market studies for the safety of GMOs. The UN and World Health Organization conclude that GMOs have nothing to offer in feeding the world or eradicating poverty.